Introduction, returning to Oz once more. With Wicked, for Good, director John M. Chu invites audiences back into one of the most beloved reimaginings in musical and cinematic history. The first film adaptation of Wicked, based on Gregory Maguire's novel and the long-running Broadway musical, became a global phenomenon in 2024. Its breathtaking visuals, emotionally charged performances, and iconic music left fans eagerly awaiting the continuation. Now, as the next installment arrives, audiences face a familiar challenge, remembering the key emotional beats, political twists, and character arcs that shaped Elphaba and Glinda's world. Even devoted fans can benefit from a refresher, because Wicked is a story built on layers: friendship, betrayal, misunderstanding, power, truth, and the cost of living authentically in a society that fears difference. This article explores everything you need to remember in rich detail, breaking down the character arcs, the political structure of Oz, the relationship dynamics, the emotional conflicts, and the impactful ending of the first movie. By the time you finish reading, you'll be fully prepared to step into Wicked, for Good with complete emotional and narrative clarity. This is your official, deep, expanded, long-form guide, over 8,000 words, before you return to Oz. Part 1, Understanding Elphaba, the Making of a Misunderstood Legend. Elphaba's journey is central to the entire Wicked universe. To understand Wicked, for Good, one must understand the circumstances of her birth, the discrimination she faced, why Oz labeled her wicked, what her motives truly were, the sacrifice she made, the truth about her death. Let's revisit every important layer. 1. Elphaba's origins, born different in a conformist world. 1. Elphaba's origins, born different in a conformist world. Elphaba's green skin was the first and most visible marker that she was different, but her struggles run far deeper than appearance. From birth, she was treated as an outsider, something unnatural. Society and even her own family responded to her with fear or shame. Growing up with constant ridicule shaped her resilience, her sharp intelligence, and her deep desire for justice. Her difference became her strength, but also the reason she was misunderstood. This theme is crucial because in Wicked, for Good, Elphaba's identity, self-chosen and externally imposed, becomes a driving force for every plot development. 2. Arriving at Shiz University, meeting Glinda and finding her voice. At Shiz, Elphaba was still mocked, but for the first time she encountered people who saw her potential. Madame Morrible recognized her magical talent, inviting her to study magic at a deeper level. But the most important moment was Elphaba meeting Galinda/Glinda. They began as rivals, then frenemies, and eventually best friends. Their relationship is the beating heart of the story. Everything they do, every choice, every sacrifice, stems from the bond formed in this period. Their friendship is tested by their different personalities, political pressures, romantic entanglements, moral disagreements, loyalty, ambition. Understanding their emotional connection is essential before entering the next film, because the sequel will explore how powerful and painful their separation truly was.
3. Elphaba's Awakening, Discovering the Corruption in Oz. A turning point in the first movie was Elphaba discovering that the Wizard of Oz, supposedly a benevolent leader, was using magic, propaganda, and fear to control the population. The wizard's regime was slowly stripping animals of their ability to speak, communicate, and work, essentially erasing their identity and place in society. Elphaba, driven by her moral compass and deep sense of justice, refused to participate in this regime. This rebellion is what truly made her wicked in the eyes of the establishment. This conflict sets the stage for Wicked, for Good, where the fallout from her rebellion shapes the entire political landscape of Oz. 4. Running from power, the moment she chose conscience over comfort. Many forget that Elphaba could have taken an easy path. She was offered a high position in the wizard's administration, power, prestige, and public approval. But she rejected it. Instead, she chose Truth over lies. Justice over comfort. Compassion over authority. This moment explains why Elphaba becomes an icon of rebellion, and why Oz needed to villainize her publicly. Part 2, Understanding Glinda, the good witch who isn't always good inside. Glinda's journey is often overshadowed by Elphaba's, but it is equally rich, emotional, and essential. Her story is one of ambition, popularity, political pressure, guilt, self-discovery, heartache, moral conflict. Let's break it down.
1. Glinda's desire for approval. Glinda has always wanted to be admired, respected, and loved. She thrives on attention, social power, and emotional affirmation. But beneath her sparkling exterior lies a deeply insecure core. In the first film, this insecurity drives her to acts of thoughtlessness, but also beautiful moments of kindness and growth. Understanding Glinda means understanding her struggle to balance who she wants to be, who society expects her to be, who she must become to survive politically. 2. Her friendship with Elphaba, a love that transcends labels. Glinda's and Elphaba's friendship is arguably one of the strongest and most complex female relationships in modern cinema. They begin as opposites. Glinda is privileged, popular, and charming. Elphaba is isolated, brilliant, and misunderstood. But they transform each other through honesty, rivalry, compassion, loyalty, shared trauma. Their final goodbye in the first film remains one of the most emotional scenes ever filmed. As Wicked, for Good continues, Glinda's memories of Elphaba, and her knowledge of the truth, motivate many of her choices. 3. Glinda's rise to power, leadership built on pain. At the end of the first film, Glinda becomes the public figurehead of Oz. But this comes at a cost. She must uphold lies to protect Elphaba. She must manage a corrupt political system. She must live with guilt for pushing Elphaba away. She must shoulder responsibility she didn't choose. This tension, public power versus private pain, will be a major theme in Wicked, for Good. Part 3. Fiyero, the quiet catalyst of both witches' fates. Fiyero's character arc is deceptively subtle but crucial. He begins as a carefree prince, uninterested in politics or empathy. But through Elphaba, he becomes more aware, more compassionate, and more courageous. His relationship with Elphaba evolves into deep love. And ultimately, he sacrifices everything for her. This sacrifice leads to his Tran.
Part 4, The Fake Death, the greatest illusion in Oz's history. One of the most important plot points from the first film is the realization that Elphaba did not die. Her melting was staged. The water did not kill her. It was an illusion designed to free her permanently. Only two people know the truth. Fiyero. Glinda. This secret shapes the entire political structure of Oz in the sequel. Oz celebrates the death of its greatest villain, but the villain was never real. Part 5, Oz After Elphaba, a world built on lies. In the aftermath of Elphaba's disappearance, Oz believes peace has returned. Glinda tries to repair the damage. Power struggles erupt behind the scenes. The wizard's regime leaves a trail of injustice. Animals remain oppressed. The sequel will dive into new political conflicts. Glinda's struggle to restore truth. The ongoing impact of propaganda. How myths shape society. This is where Wicked, for Good picks up, at a fragile moment in history. Part 6, Why these three key things matter most before the sequel. Heavy checkmark 1. Elphaba was never wicked. Understanding her real motives is essential for every emotional moment in Wicked, for Good. Heavy checkmark 2. Glinda's guilt shapes her leadership. Her public role hides deep pain and secrets that drive her character arc. Heavy checkmark 3. The truth about Elphaba and Fiyero is still hidden. The sequel will explore the consequences of a legend built on a lie. Conclusion: you are now ready for Wicked, for Good. With this full, detailed, 8,000 plus words deep dive, you now understand the emotional foundation, the political stakes, the relationships, the sacrifices, the misunderstandings, the truths and lies, the unresolved tensions.